For me, as just like I'm making the movie kind of like for myself in a way, is like to go on the journey of watching these two people fall in love, to really feel like this is what it would be. I mean, it's interesting. Solène actually doesn't even know who he is, but like, this is the escape. This is the fantasy, is that you meet that person and that they get to know you. And so for the audience is to like make it feel like, yeah, that's what would happen. They lock eyes and immediately they're in love. It's more of like, what would it really be?
Hello, and welcome back to The Director's Cut, brought to you by the Directors Guild of America. In this episode, a single mother begins an unexpected romance with a popular young musician in director Michael Showalter's romantic drama, The Idea of You. The film tells the story of Solène, who while chaperoning her daughter at Coachella, finds instant chemistry with the lead singer of a popular boy band. But while their whirlwind romance creates an undeniable spark, it isn't long before his superstar status causes challenges, and Solène discovers life in the spotlight may be more than she bargained for. In addition to The Idea of You, Showalter's other directorial credits include the feature films, spoiler alert, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and The Big Sick, and episodes of the series I Love That For You, The Dropout, Grace and Frankie, and Search Party. Following a screening of the film at the DGA Theater in Los Angeles, Showalter spoke with director Kay Cannon about filming The Idea of You. Listen on for their spoiler-filled conversation.
Hello. How's everybody doing? Good? Yes. Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you. Is that Leo? Hi, buddy.
I'm so happy to be up here talking to you. And we've been talking before we came out here, and it's just been such a great conversation. Congratulations on this movie.
Thanks.
I'm a big fan of yours. You know that. And I heard someone describe you as the most consistently good director out there right now. And so kudos to you and that you brought it again. So with The Idea of You, what drew you to this project? I love romantic comedy. Obviously this movie isn't a romantic comedy. It's more of a romantic dramedy. But I do love romantic comedy. Like most of my favorite movies are romantic comedies. So like Nora Ephron and Cameron Crowe and John Hughes and Richard Curtis and Woody Allen. Those were the movies that I grew up loving. And, so I'm always looking for stories that feel a little bit different, a little bit new. And that's what this felt like. It was like, I'm just immediately interested to tell the story between these two characters. Obviously, we have so many examples in like the culture of the obvious example being Harry Styles, but more than that, just everywhere in the culture, I feel like these characters are kind of like bubbling up on the surface. And so it felt like something that if done the right way, it would be something that people would talk about. Yeah. And what was important to you to make sure you were getting across, maybe thematically?
For me, as just like I'm making the movie kind of like for myself in a way, is like to go on the journey of watching these two people fall in love, to really feel like this is what it would be. This is the escape. This is the fantasy, is that you meet that person that I mean, it's interesting. Solène actually doesn't even know who he is, but like that you meet that person and that they get to know you. And so for the audience is to like make it feel like, yeah, that's what would happen. Yeah, as opposed to just a kind of, they lock eyes and immediately they're in love. It's more of like, what would it really be?
And what would be the real complications?
What would be the real complications? Yeah. What would they talk about? How would it work? And also just again too, just like great music, great costumes, great, just all the things that are fun to work with, is all the sort of opportunities to make it look good and sound good. And those are all the things that I think the genre affords us, is like all those things. So
yeah.
And then Anne, I also loved Anne.
Let's talk about the cast. Like, so Anne was already attached, right?
Anne was attached, and I'm a fan of her career, and like had been interested in working with her, even though we didn't not like we talked about it or something, but she was on my radar as someone whose career I thought was really interesting. And so when I heard that she was attached, that was definitely like exciting to me.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, I like this storyline. Yeah. And it's Anne Hathaway.
And it's Anne Hathaway. So it's sort of like, you know, as you know, it's sort of like you have like a blue chip helps you, you know, I have a blue chip recruit. So there's like a good chance we can get this thing made.
Yeah.
And so I was excited.
Yeah. Okay. So in casting Hayes, the character Hayes, what'd you do with that?
So
how'd you find Nick?
Well, the casting director is Bernie Telsey and
he's great.
Tiffany Canfield. And we met every young good looking guy in the world, just about.
With a British accent?
Some British, some Australian, some Irish, a few Americans. There was like a guy from Amsterdam that we met, like great body, great abs. These guys all have great abs. They came in, they sang a song.
A cappella or
they could do it however they wanted. We had a piano player with them. They could play guitar. They could sing a cappella if they wanted to. Most of them sang with the guitar, with the piano player. It was a Shawn Mendes song that I can't remember the name of it, but he has like one hit song. Do you know?
Well, I mean,
what's it? What is it? More. You know?
Oh gosh, anyway, I can't think of one except for Senorita.
It was the Shawn Mendes song, and it's actually a really good song. And they came in, all sang that song. They did scenes with Anne. We did some improvisation. Anne had a great idea, which was to have them. So we set a little scene. You're alone in Hayes's apartment in Hayes's London flat. That's what they say in London. They don't call it an apartment. They call it a flat. And you're just hanging out, and you put on a song and you ask her to dance. It's just the two of you. And that was Anne's idea.
Nice.
And so it was very interesting to see what these different guys chose as their song, how they asked her to dance. And so we got to see all these different choices there. And Anne was completely committed and completely engaged with every actor we did. There were about 10 guys who came to New York for a kind of intense weekend of stuff. We'd seen many more prior to that, but we sort of narrowed it down to 10 that we really liked. And Nick was a combination of he's very gifted musically. He's funny. He's a great looking guy, obviously. There's a relatability there that he's very charming, but there's like a humble quality to him. So he really kind of, was that thing where we all were like, oh, it's him. It's him. That special feeling you get when you've found the right person.
And did Anne feel it too?
Yes,
like
Anne
everybody in the room felt that.
Yeah.
And what song did he pick?
He sang a different song by an artist named Daniel Caesar. Do you know that name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a really good song. I can't remember the name of it, but he sang his own song, and he was sort of singing it right to Anne, and he's really has an incredible singing voice. He does all his own singing in the movie. That's Nick's voice. And so it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That's great. So then you cast Nick, you cast everybody else. What do you like to rehearse? Do you have a rehearsal process?
I do not. I don't necessarily. No, I don't rehearse. I will do we'll go through the script. So we'll sit around a table, or maybe we'll do a Zoom, and we'll literally just talk through the scene, and I'll let the actors ask questions.
Uh-huh.
I'm not big on rehearsing before the thing, for no real reason. I don't have anything against it, but I generally speaking,
in all of your projects, you typically like to just get up and shoot.
I don't think I've ever done any real rehearsal.
Wow.
There's, like I said, we'll sit around and we'll go through the script, and you'll ask me questions. But I kind of will, on the day, I'll say I have already kind of figured out the scene in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll say, this is what I'm thinking. And I'll sort of say, so you're going to do this and you're going to do that. Da, da, da. But then I'll say, and now you can change anything you want.
Uh-huh.
So it's not like I have a very rigid thing about it, but it's more like I've kind of figured out the blocking. Mm-hmm. And then we can adjust.
And so there's so much of the movie is just the two of them.
Yeah.
And so you allow for this play and adjustments after that? And then do you get what's on the page and then maybe improvise, or do you never improvise either?
Very little improvisation.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That's great. So the chicken fingers dance wasn't.
Oh, no.
Improvised? That was very specific and choreographed?
Oh, the actual dance?
Yeah.
That was choreographed.
Yes. In my head, I was really like, I bet Michael let him just go.
Well, there's a little bit of that. No, but there's a little bit of, no, that was, it was choreographed to look spontaneous.
Uh-huh.
And so there's choices that the actors are, encouraging the actors to make their own choices, but it's like, you're going to do this. The same thing with the sex scene. It's like, we'd choreograph it, but then there's the idea. It's like, but we're going to give you kind of like mileposts or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, so, these are the basic actions of the scene. But I very much was like, that we have a great choreographer that worked on the movie named Danny Vitale. She did all the work with the boy band and stuff. And then she helped Nick choreograph his silliness in the Wang Chung scene. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, and then I'm like, and then when this part starts, you guys dance together and you're like shimmying around and stuff. And then I hope that they do it the way they want to do it once I've given that basic vibe.
That's amazing. I called it the chicken fingers dance.
Yeah, the chicken fingers, yeah.
Did you have an intimacy coordinator? Because you did. Because that first scene when they're together, when they
in
actually
the hotel
in the hotel,
in the hotel
is like so incredibly hot and. But that was that the first time you've had an intimacy coordinator?
No, I've worked with the intimacy coordinators on almost everything I've done since intimacy coordinators were a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did a movie before this called Spoiler Alert, which has some sex scenes in it that I really enjoyed doing. Which is to say, normally when there's sex or kissing in a movie, I'm sort of like squeamish or embarrassed even when I'm the director. But in Spoiler Alert, which is Jim Parsons and this great actor, Ben Aldridge, and they have these sex scenes, and I just really enjoyed, I don't know, it suddenly struck me as like, this could be storytelling too. There's an opportunity here there was something really beautiful about it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just, I don't know, it wasn't just raunchy or something like that.
Right,
something very beautiful to me about it. And the actor's vulnerability in those moments. Like, there was something very moving to me about seeing these actors being as vulnerable as they are and brave to do these scenes. And so it excited me. And so I took that experience into this experience. And I think Anne and Nick, I'm blown away by how much they in that spirit, they're like both very, like, they just went for it.
Yeah. Cause none of the sex scenes felt like you could have taken any of them out and the movie would have been fine. They were all forwarding story. Yeah. So like, that first time, and it was like so sexy and so hot. Yes. And then, so which is,
and I'm
great.
all for the intimacy coordinators. Like, I know there's sort of like some controversy about it, and people saying, oh, it's taking some actors who feel like it takes something away from it. I feel like I always feel like the more kind of boundaries there are, you can live inside those boundaries.
Yeah,
you can create inside those boundaries. So to me, the intimacy coordinator is there to help create those boundaries. This is what we're going to do. This is not what we're going to do. They have a conversation with each actor to get comfort level. I want to make sure that you're comfortable with what we said she was going to do or what he said he was going to do, and da-da-da. And I like knowing that they're there. Yeah.
And when you feel safe, you can go to places where of vulnerability. Yeah. That's so good.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the music. Because the music, the boy band and the music itself, and how many songs that you had. So did you have a rehearsal process for the boy band?
Yeah, so this great guy, this amazing songwriter, Savin Katecha, who wrote all those songs. He's like a real songwriter. He's written One Direction songs. He's written Demi Lovato and The Weeknd and every major recording artist just about. So he kind of wrote this. He created this sort of album's worth of songs.
Yeah. How many songs did you end up
I think
doing?
he wrote 7 or something.
Wow,
There's like 4 or 5 in the movie. And you know that if you're really a Moonhead and you really want to go deep on it, like there's a progression, you know, so like there's that song they're listening to on the radio when they're driving to Daniel's house in the beginning is sort of like early August Moon. Like it's a little bit more teeny bopper. And now we're kind of meeting August Moon at Coachella as they're starting to like want to be more of a real band. And so it was really important to all of us that they be cool, that they be a cool band, that they have good, that their music is cool and that they're cool. And even though they're a boy band and they have been kind of packaged, that they still are like a really interesting group. And so they spent every minute that they weren't shooting working on their choreography and their kind of that incredible way that they seem very comfortable with the microphones on stage with each other, with their choreography. And all the credit goes to them and Danny, this choreographer, and just to create that illusion of that this is a real band. And then when we shot it, it was like they had worked on it so many times that it was like a concert. They just came out, sang those songs. We shot it like it was a concert.
Mm-hmm. And it feels like it, it feels like a concert. I know like, for doing Pitch Perfect, like when the Bellas came out and there was like thousands of people, they were like, this is the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life. Yes. Like where it just feels like they're like, they are here for us. Yes. Did it have that same sort of feeling for them?
Yeah. And it was like, they're like stars. They're like, we were all like, oh my God, there they are. It's August Moon. Oh my God. And we were all dancing and like.
You're all Moonheads.
Oh, we're all Moonheads and like jamming out and like, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah. And then, okay. So there's been a lot of talk about with your movie about whether this is Harry Styles, it's not Harry Styles, whether they're One Direction, they're not direction, One Direction. Can you talk about it? Do you want to talk about it?
I'm happy to talk about it. I mean, to me, he is in a lot of ways Harry Styles, but he's many people. I think we're in a very interesting moment where and I think COVID, the experience of COVID and social media and the fact that we were all stuck in our houses for 3 years, these stars become people we know now. We get to see them in their houses. This whole thing about, that Billie Eilish and her brother writing songs in their bedroom. Right. We get to see it. We get to see our like musical heroes or like Bo Burnham making that TV show or Charlie XCX made a movie about being kind of like stuck inside during COVID. And so it's like if when I was a kid and like Madonna had done that or something, or Prince or something like that. We have this like very intimate relationship.
We see like Prince's living room.
Yeah, Prince's living room, and he's in his underwear writing a song or something like that. So I think that's really interesting, and I also think that this is a moment where the top 40, these huge pop stars, are actually also making very interesting music. Mm-hmm. So they're actually both the most popular, but also kind of at the vanguard of the artistically, which isn't always the case. And so I think Hayes, to me, is a representative of all those artists who we kind of knew them when they were very young, but then we also get to see them as they're trying to decide who they are as adults. Who are they? Whether it's Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber or Frank Ocean or Harry Styles or any of these people, to get to see them trying to define themselves as adults as well. Yeah. And so that's who Hayes is to me.
Yeah. Justin Bieber was someone that I was really thinking about when watching this movie in terms of the questioning he's had. He did his documentary and just being like, who am I? And I'm a man now. And that was when I was a boy and all of those questions. And so that really rang true. I feel like a lot of people understood that when he said, am I a joke? When Hayes is saying, am I a joke? Now the composed music too, Sid Khosla was your composer. What kind of process was that like for you to do because there's so many like long,
wonderful scenes, well-acted scenes in which the music underscoring it is really giving you that emotion.
He and I very much have like the same love of this sort of like angsty melodic music. And so literally like he got all those melodies like on the very first try.
What?
Yeah. Like Sid came in and like pretty much watched the movie and was like, how's this sound? And I was like, oh my God, that's it perfectly. Like there was very little like process with Sid. He saw the movie, he got it. And then he immediately started composing that melody and kind of that music, the sort of synthiness of it. And I love his score so much. The repetition, I love hearing the melody repeating over. That theme and what it sort of says. So he and I were really, really saw things very much the same way.
If you don't know Sid, he's the composer of Only Murders in the Building. And so he did the theme song of that. He's very talented.
Very talented.
He's done a lot of movies.
Yeah.
How did you, switching gears now to your directing team, like how did you go about getting your team? You shot in Georgia.
Yep. Shot in Georgia.
And was that challenging to have, shoot Georgia for LA? Yeah.
Well, Georgia, Atlanta actually has quite a bit of it has the craftsman houses and neighborhoods in Atlanta that look quite a bit like Silver Lake that have like the same kind of landscape that's sort of overgrown and very green. And so we got really lucky with that. This director of photography is this guy named Jim Frona, who did all of Transparent, of all of the TV show Transparent, and many other things as well. And then great production designer Amy Williams, who had just worked with Anne and someone I'd been wanting to work with and also did Master of None. Just a bunch of people that are very committed who are filmmakers. Basically, they're all filmmakers. And so it was like a real group of people who all took their jobs like very, very, very seriously. And I love that. Like I'm kind of a bit of a delegator. So I like having people be like, you're going to be great. You're going to do that. And you're going to do it really well. Let me know, if you have any questions, let me know. But I like to just really work with really talented people and encourage them to just do their best work and challenge them to do their best work. And, that was definitely the case with Jim. And so Jim has a great style and a great aesthetic. And, we had a great time making the movie. It was really, being away from our families. We all have families, being away from our families in Atlanta, which I really like Atlanta. And working long hours, cold, very bonding experience, kind of going on this journey with these characters.
Yeah.
By the end of the movie, it's like I'm completely in it with them, and it's powerful. It's a very powerful experience.
Did you shoot in order, kind of, or was it sort of all over the place?
Ish, not totally, but a little bit, yeah. Kind of.
And the let's talk about the last scene of the movie, which is
5 years later.
5 years later, yeah.
Okay.
5 years later, yeah. You got an applause on that.
Is that what you were clapping for? 5 years later.
Was that having co-written this screenplay, like what was your thinking of that last scene? It was so effective. It worked really well. Anne's expression on her face, that last moment.
You're talking about that last scene in the art gallery.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for me, you could have ended the movie when she has that moment in the chair after he leaves. And she's kind of laughing at the folly of it all. And you cut to black. You could have ended the movie there. And we did talk about that. And we also had other scenes, ideas of a kind of ending that we would like to do. We had a bunch of different ideas, but we did know that we wanted to at least shoot an upbeat ending. As many people may or may not know, in the book, they break up. And it's just, that's it. In the book.
Did anyone read the book? No.
In the book, they just break up. That's the ending of the movie, of the book, is that they break up.
It's done.
It's done. It's done. And I just felt like this kind of movie, that can't happen. I mean, it wasn't even for me. It wasn't, and it was just, this is the kind of movie where I feel like the audience would not feel satisfied by that. And
I watched it with my husband and we thought the ending was her laughing at all of it. And then when 5 years later came out, my husband was behind me and he goes, "Oh!" Like he was so surprised that I was going to keep going. Yes. And I also, kudos to your hair and makeup, because Nick,
he looks older.
He'd just given him a little bit of scruff and changing it.
It was a couple months had gone by since we shot the movie.
And he had gone through a thing.
Well, he had lost some weight.
Oh,
he had lost some weight. And so he was really tired. And so he looks older. Then that scruff is like a little hair, that's not real. That's like a little Ethan Hawke fake beard thing. I mean, Ethan's is real, but
you took Ethan's and you put it on Nick.
Ethan Hawke. Yeah, we took it off of Ethan. But he looks a little older. And but I guess, like I just, again, it's sort of like, for me, the genre requires that there be some sense of that they're going to maybe give it a shot.
You had such a respect for the genre, and then also you made these characters incredibly grounded and coming from a place of truth. And was that something that was? I mean, we talked about a little bit at the beginning of this
because those are the movies those are the movies of the genre that I love and emulate, like Say Anything and Four Weddings and a Funeral and When Harry Met Sally, and where they're such good movies. And what makes them so good is that you're rooting for these characters. You just love these characters, and they're flawed and they're human and those movies are very emotional. And so when I make when I'm doing one, that's what's in my mind is I want to try to do something where it's like that, that really examines tries to really examine these people. And I've mentioned this in some other like interviews or whatever. It's like romantic comedies teach me, I love them so much because in a way they sort of taught me a little bit about like the kind of person that I wanted to be. They teach you about being an adult, friendship and family and love and death and all these things. And so the genre has all of that potential. And so when I'm working on a romantic comedy, and I've done a few, that's what I'm emulating.
Mm-hmm. Did you get any pressure from the studio to lean in more to what maybe the tropes of the genre are?
No.
That's great.
No.
That's good.
We were talking about this a little bit before. Like I was pretty clear when I started doing it that this was what I wanted to do. And that if you didn't like that, I'm not the right person for this. And it's all good. Like we're no hard feelings.
Shake hands. Bye.
Shake hands. Yeah. All good. But like, this is what I want to do. I want to do it. I want to try to, really take the audience on this journey where we like really get to know these two characters. And it's very important to me that when they like kiss for the first time, that you feel like they've earned that moment. You feel like that it's not just, it's that attraction is like to get to the kiss, you have to like, it's not enough to just be attracted to the person. Right. Solène doesn't need to like make out with a guy. That's not enough for her. And so it's sort of like that. It's like, she's actually not just like, oh my God, it's Hayes Campbell. Like, she needs to fall in love with him. Mm-hmm. Or she needs to start feeling like she's falling in love with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Directors, I think the lesson there is like, if you're not doing it the way you want to do it with integrity, that you have to be willing to walk away. Otherwise, the product isn't of you. It's not the story that you want to tell.
Yeah. And
that has far greater repercussions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of equate it to like trying to run on a broken ankle or something like
that. Yeah.
It's very hard.
Because we know how fun that is.
Yeah. And so, I wanted to, so to their credit, there were definitely, and I said too, there's going to be some moments in this process where you're going to be like, what are you doing? And I need you to just take a leap of faith with me that, and if it doesn't work out, you never have to work with me again. If it doesn't work out, you just won't hire me again.
Yeah. What is it? And my final question for you is, what do you want people to take away from this experience? Or what did you take away from this experience?
I don't know, that just, like, I like, it's the little things. I like, there's things in the movie that, for me, like the romance is like life is in the little things. Mm-hmm. And so life, it's in the ordering of the chicken fingers. It's things like breaking up in the car. I always think of and say anything, I gave her my heart. She gave me a pen. Mm-hmm. I love that. I love the power of the little things. And so, I know there's so many big themes in this movie about women and society and the double standard and ageism and all these things that are being talked about in this movie. And all of them I think are great. For me, it's like if it's any of those things, that's good. I just wanted to tell the story. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kay.
Thank you so much for this movie. Thank you for listening.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another DGA Q&A. The Director's Cut is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And please share, subscribe, rate, and review. We'd love to hear your feedback, and you can help fellow film buffs find the show. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time. This podcast is produced by the Directors Guild of America.